Before I knew it, I was cramming fistfuls of rotting food into my mouth with both hands. I have no memory of it. My knees were covered in cuts, and embedded in those wounds, fragments of human fingernails. The summer of junior year. My two friends A and B and I jumped on a job listing we found online, a live-in gig at a seaside inn, just for the summer. The inn turned out to be a small family-run guest house. My first impression? It's like my grandma's house in the countryside. 2 stories tall, but every room, guest rooms, staff quarters, was packed onto the first floor. They were greeted by Misaki-chan, a local inn attendant with a bright smile, and the landlady, Makiko-san, a heavy-set woman with a loud, warm laugh. A asked, "Do you not use the second floor?" The landlady smiled. "Not anymore." B was the first to notice. Every evening, the landlady carried a tray of food up to the second floor. 5 minutes later, she came back down with an empty tray. What kind of thing finishes an entire meal in 5 minutes? I had seen something else. The landlady slipping out of a guest room that was supposed to be Misaki-chan's responsibility. The 3 of them made a pact. If you see anything strange, you report it. The staircase to the second floor couldn't be reached from inside the building. You had to step outside, walk along the outer wall, and find a door set into it. I went up alone. Crack, crack, something crunching underfoot. I reached the landing. The stench hit me. A mound of rotting food scraps, flies, and beyond that, a door. Plywood nailed shut, smothered in paper talismans, bound in ropes strung like a spider's web. From behind the door, Gotti, 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 the sound of nails clawing against a wall. Then breathing. Hew, hew, hew. Irregular, inhuman. The sound stopped, and in the next instant, the same sound came from directly above, the ceiling. I ran down the stairs with my eyes shut. Back in the room, A asked, "What were you eating up there?" I had been cramming fistfuls of rotting food into my mouth on the landing. I had no memory of it. The cuts on my feet and knees, embedded in the wounds, were fragments of human fingernails. The cracking sound had been the floor, carpeted in nails. B's testimony. 3 or 4 human-shaped shadows had been crawling across the walls and ceiling like spiders. I can still see them now. The next morning, they quit. The landlady handed them a brown envelope and a small drawstring pouch. Misaki-chan gave them rice balls. They got into a taxi, and the landlady's husband came tearing after them in a light truck. "If you go home like this, they'll take you." He drove them to a Buddhist priest. Inside the pouch, a mass of fingernails, a medium for the curse. The 3 of them were sealed inside the Ondō, a prayer hall. The rules: do not speak. Do not answer anything from the other side of the wall. In the darkness, they heard Misaki-chan's voice, flat, mechanical, repeating the same words over and over. Through a gap in the wall, a face, pitch black skin, nothing but the whites of the eyes. The pounding on the wall wasn't fists. It was a head slamming into the wood. Dawn came. The priest said, "You did well." The 3 of them collapsed, sobbing. The area had once been a fishing village. Whenever a child drowned, the mother would place the child's dried umbilical cord in the coffin as a protective charm. One day, a woman whose child had vanished 3 years before screamed, "My child came back!" What came back was not her child. A swollen, blue-purple aberration. The core of the curse: the child devours the parent. The being summoned by the umbilical cord feeds on the mother who called it. The landlady, too, had lost a son. What she sealed on the second floor was the thing she had called back. Her son. The reason she hired part-timers? To let the entity latch onto young bodies so it would feed on them instead of her. The pouch was the curse's anchor. The three of them had been sacrifices from the start. The three were purified and made it home safely. The landlady was later completely possessed. A friend called the inn sometime after. In the background, the sound of crows. Misaki-chan's true nature is never revealed. Posted anonymously on Horror Teller on August 4th, 2009. Not from 2Channel. The author's identity remained unknown for 14 years until the 2023 film adaptation revealed the name. Hinata Mugi. The story has barely reached the English-speaking world. In Kisaragi Station, the threshold is a deserted train platform. In Inunaki Village, it's a tunnel. Resort Baito broke the mold. The other world is the second floor. Right above the room where they were laughing together, the thing had been there all along. You just didn't know. It was always there. An insular, rural community. A forbidden ritual. Punishment for outsiders who stumble in. This is a gaze toward the strange countryside that stretches back over a century to Kunio Yanagita's Tono Monogatari in 1910. What Resort Baito added to the formula is something uniquely its own, the madness of motherhood. In Japan, it's customary to preserve a baby's dried umbilical cord in a small paulownia box, a talisman of protection. In this story, that talisman becomes a tool that summons the dead. The child devours the parent, a structure that echoes the legend of the Ubume, the ghost of a woman who died in childbirth. The true horror isn't the supernatural, it's the landlady's devoted madness. The folklorist Ryuhei Hirota, in The Folklore of Internet Ghost Stories, positions Resort Baito squarely within the lineage of Inshuke Kaidan, tales rooted in forbidden village customs. Misaki, a name that overlaps with Misaki, the spirits of those who drowned. The landlady's fate. The sound of crows on the phone. Would you go up to the second floor?